A paint drip splatters and runs, revealing a series of images. A woman playing violin, then in a bright pink costume, then in a blind skier pinning atop a mountain. The drip finally lands, revealing text in print and braille. Unsightly Opinions.
Hi, welcome to Unsightly Opinions. My name's Tamara. Today, we are going to be diving into how to avoid insensitive gifts for that person with a disability in your life. It's that time of year again that many people are giving gifts. If you don't celebrate in December, that's fine. This video is going to be good for any kind of gift-giving occasion. Whether it's for a family member, a friend, or a coworker, I'm hoping that this video can give you some general tips and tricks that you can use to help avoid any pitfalls when you're finding a gift for that person with a disability in your life. Without further ado, let's dive in. I like to start with a range of questions to help narrow down what kind of gift is going to be suitable for that person. You may not be able to answer all of these questions if you don't know the person very well, but it will still help you hone in on what's going to be more appropriate. The first question is, what does this person like to do in their spare time? Do they attend a specific class every week? Do they go out with friends to a specific place? Do they like to stay in? Are they a traveler? What kind of lifestyle does this person lead? And that may start sparking some ideas for you in terms of what might work for this person. The second question is, does this person have any particular interests or hobbies? If they have something in particular that you know about, try and help them develop one of those skills or hobbies. Whether it's a book, another class, some tools, some supplies, or even a gift card. Those are all really wonderful ways to help support somebody in their creative endeavors. Number 3, what was this person's interests pre-disability? This question's not going to be applicable to everyone, as some of us have lifelong disabilities. It's going to help give you an idea of where they are on their disability journey. If somebody has had a disability their entire life, they are more likely to be accepting of that disability, although that is not a hard and fast rule, and it may give you a little more leniency to do something relating to their disability in your gift giving. If someone's newer to their disability and you're trying to force them into something that they did pre-disability, that may be a little more painful for them because they're not able to do the same things in the same way. It's going to be very person dependent, and you're going to have to be delicate in feeling that out. Question number 4, what do other people their age enjoy? Just because somebody has a disability does not mean that they aren't going to have the same interests as their peers. Most kids are going to be interested in very specific things. Adults are going to be interested in other things. So tailoring it depending on their age and understanding what's an appropriate gift depending on their age level or developmental ability is going to go a long way to making sure that they enjoy what they receive. Question number 5, how does their disability impact them? Disabilities exist on a spectrum. It's rare that a disability is complete. So if someone has some remaining vision, they may enjoy something that someone who has no remaining vision would not. If you can't answer this question, I would always err on the side of caution and go for a more general gift so you don't give someone something that they can't use. Question number 6, could this person, insert name here, use this, and do I think they would enjoy this? If the answer is yes, you've probably got a good gift. Don't overthink things. We can oftentimes get a little bit caught up in trying to be oversensitive, and we don't need to put that much thought into it. If you think that person would enjoy it, then they probably will. Question 7, would you get this person the same gift or a similar gift if they didn't have their disability? If the answer is yes, it's a fabulous gift. If the answer is no, you would not get them that gift, I might take a moment and pause to reconsider whether they are getting this gift just because they have a disability or whether this is something that they would genuinely enjoy. We can get hyperfixated on the disability itself and ignore the entire person. Every person with a disability is more than their disability. They have hopes, they have dreams, they have aspirations, they have fears, all separate from their existence as a person with a disability. If it's only disability related, maybe try and broaden that out to include some of their interests. Now for a few general tips and tricks. You're still not sure if your gift is going to work for this person. My first piece of advice is ask friends and family. And if you can't, ask other coworkers and see what they think. I will never get offended if somebody comes up to me and says, hey, I'm trying to get a gift for Sue and I don't want to be insensitive. I've gotten her this. I think it's a good gift. Can you just check me on this? If somebody is coming at things from a place of good intention, I am much less likely to be frustrated, upset, because I recognize that people don't always have the same life experience. And we should all be here to help each other. So I don't mind answering questions if somebody says, hey, is this a good gift for this person? Even if I've never met them. I'll do my best to direct people and give them at least a nudge in the direction that I think that person might want. My second piece of advice is just ask them. If you're not sure if this is something someone would appreciate, you don't have to tell them what the gift is, but you can ask them. For example, if somebody has vision loss and you're not sure if they're still able to read print, or if they read large print, or if they prefer audiobooks, but you've got this book that you think they'd like, I would call them up and say, hey, I'm at the store and I'm going to get you a little gift for the holidays, for your birthday, etc., etc. And I just want to make sure that if I got you something that you'd be able to use it. If I got you something in regular print, is that something you're going to be able to use, or is a different format better? And then you're probably going to get the correct answer because they're going to tell you what they need. Number 3, don't hyper-focus on their disability. Like I've stated, we can oftentimes get too fixated on the disability itself and ignore the person as a whole. So my rule of thumb is do your best to accommodate for their disability in a way that's going to make it easy for them to interact with something, do something, get somewhere, so that they don't have to put in more effort, but get them the same gift that you would get somebody without a disability. General tip number 4, never get somebody something to quote-unquote cure or quote-unquote fix their disability. Everybody's at a different space in that journey, and unless you are the world expert in that disability, it's probably going to be pretty insensitive to get somebody a gift like that. Most miracle cures, most vitamin regimes, many things that tout to be cures or improve a disability are rarely as good as they say they are. And you don't know where somebody is on their disability journey into acceptance, so it's going to land one of two ways, neither of which is good. The first is someone's at peace with their disability and they're happy with the way they are. If you give them a gift to quote-unquote cure them, they're going to feel like you don't care about them as they are. They aren't good enough as they are. That's pretty insensitive. Number 2, somebody isn't at peace with their disability and you give them something to quote-unquote cure their disability. They are either going to get false hope, and when it doesn't work, they're going to be devastated. Or 2, they're going to be reminded of their disability and its impact, and that you're not okay with it, and it's going to open up a whole lot of fresh trauma. Probably best to avoid. General tip number 5, try to avoid getting someone something that they literally cannot use. And if there's any question of a doubt, find something else. If you don't know where somebody sits on their spectrum of disability, whether it's physical, cognitive, mobility, etc., it's probably best to err on the side of caution and find something that you know is going to work for them. There's things that are very obvious. If somebody's fully blind and you give them a print book, that's probably pretty insensitive. I might err on the side of caution and get them an audiobook because it's something that you could equally give to a sighted person and it would still be an acceptable gift. You're just giving it in a more universal format. Tip number 6, don't buy into the hype of expensive disability gadgets. They are never as good as you think they're going to be. I can't tell you how many times I have reviewed a multi-$1,000 item and it just doesn't live up to the hype or expectation. Almost every accessible or specialized product is going to have the disability tax attached. It's going to be expensive, and it's rarely going to be a perfect fix for a problem that somebody has. Case in point, something like Envision or Orcam, which are supposed to essentially become someone's eyes. That's how it's portrayed in media, is it can literally allow somebody to see faces again, and read print again, and go out and live their life independently. And while aspects of that are true, it's not a foolproof device, it's not perfect, and it's not going to be a perfect substitution for the sense that somebody has lost. So you may be better off waiting and making sure that that's going to be the right tool for that person rather than getting it for them as a gift in the hopes that it's right. Unless you know that that's something they're specifically wanting, is not going to be a good gift and could be very insensitive. Number 7, don't immediately assume something is inaccessible, something is a bad gift without doing a little research. I never got movies growing up because people assumed that I hated movies because I couldn't see them. But movies are a multi-sensory experience. There's audio with movies. There's also described video with movies. And many these days are a lot more accessible than you'd think. So if you'd get that person a movie if they could see, it's not necessarily a bad gift if they can't. Now, moving into some general ideas for different types of disabilities. If someone has vision loss, try and find things that are a lot more multisensory, that have more than one experience that's not strictly visual. Buying somebody an art print, probably not a good idea. However, if you buy somebody an art print that has tactile elements or 3D shapes or something fun that allows them to experience it in their own way, that might be a better idea for a gift. If somebody has limited mobility, you maybe don't want to get them something that's high impact or really physical. Obviously, that is going to depend on the person and what they're interested in. So consider what they may enjoy doing with something that you've already seen them do. If you know that they love movies, maybe don't get them a gift card to the movie theater, maybe get them a subscription to Netflix, because that's something that you can do without needing to move around too much or go too far. If somebody has chronic pain with their disability, really strenuous activities that get somebody out for long periods of time may not be really easy for them. So my suggestion would be find an activity that meets them where they're at, and especially something that doesn't have an expiration date. So if you want to do an activity together, or you want them to go out and do an activity, find something that they may enjoy, but make sure that they're going to be able to do that when they feel well enough to go, and that they don't feel pressured to immediately rush out and do something when they may not be feeling their best. When somebody has chronic pain or a chronic illness, I love giving care boxes or gift baskets. They're really easy, they're really accessible, they don't have to break the bank, and they acknowledge that somebody may not be in a good place, but it lets them know that you care about them. So things like candles, a movie, tea, a mug, some fuzzy socks, a hot water bottle. Those are all really nice things to get whether you have that disability or not, but it still acknowledges that somebody maybe doesn't feel their best all the time. And if somebody has some sensory issues, depending on whether they're sensory seeking or sensory avoidant, they may like things like fidgets, or they may like a lava lamp, things that increase sensation for them, or they may like things that reduce sensation. A texture they enjoy, a food they enjoy, a blanket, a hoodie, something that's going to make them feel safe and comfortable. And you're going to have to know that person pretty well to know if that's something that they might appreciate from you. And I will always say that when in doubt, gift cards are fantastic. They have a bad rap for being impersonal, but they don't have an expiry date. They give somebody the freedom to get something they actually want, and they give somebody more options. The same thing goes with subscription services. Something like Amazon Prime or Netflix or Apple TV. Those kind of subscription services work really well for folks with disabilities because they have a lot of accommodations in place. Most streaming services now have descriptive video for people with vision loss. Most have closed captioning for people with hearing loss. Most have different speed and playback options. You can adjust the brightness to whatever you want it to be. They're very accessible. And for somebody who may not be able to get out of their house, having free 2-day shipping is a big deal and could be something that someone would really appreciate. So I hope that gives you a few ideas. I'd love to know the most insensitive gift you've received, as it may help others avoid making the same faux pas with somebody in their life. And if you still have questions about whether a specific gift is going to work for somebody, maybe the hive mind of this community can help join in and we can answer that question for you to the best of our abilities. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you've made it to the end. If you need more video suggestions, you can check out my specific gift giving in the description down below and in a card above. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.